Good morning, afternoon, evening from wherever you are listening. Welcome back to the Breakevens podcast. My name is Corey, and as always, with me is the man, the myth, the legend, Jack.
Hello.
So, Jack, round 19 is over. The home and away season for Supercoach is donezo. We're now at Supercoach finals time, which is a bit nerve-wracking. Um, there's 4 weeks left for those that are trying to win the big 50K, or for those that are trying just to win their leagues against their mates or their workmates. It's time to get in the heads of your opposition, and let's try to strive for those bragging rights. So Supercoach finals time is here, so it's a lot of fun. Thank you all again for your support as always. If that be on Twitter at Breakevens Pod or on YouTube, searching the Breakevens. Don't forget, you can also find us on Apple Podcasts at the Breakevens. So, today's podcast, Jack, we're going to review last round's games. As always, we're going to do our hot and colds, go through the VC and C options, which is not that many this week. We will also discuss our personal teams, what the Breakevens team is doing. So, just quickly, Jack, before I get your last week's scores, I just want a quick update on the Breakevens Supercoach League. So congratulations has to go out to Dave, aka Swizz, and his Punt Road Legends on taking out the minor premiership, finishing on top. Let's see if he can continue on and get the major. But we will update you all over the final series on what the outcomes are and what is happening. So for those that are involved in the Breakevens finals, which the Breakevens team is, and I think you are
Yeah,
as
they
well,
snuck
Jack.
in the last round because I
Yeah,
was in that slot and because I had fucking injury after injury.
yeah. So good luck to those that are involved. Jack, let's get straight into your team. So how did you go last week?
I scored 2,309 with all the problems that went wrong with me this week. I'm pretty happy with it. I jumped 387 ranks, so I'm back down
Nice.
to 18k. Um, But yeah, no, Hewitt out with no cover, Kelly out. I had to have Cully emergency, which Kelly would have scored more. Wit, I don't know what happened with Wits because I checked in at halftime, and after halftime, his super coach kept going down while his dream team kept going up. It's like they weren't they stopped giving him points after halftime. It was very strange. Um, Then obviously Trelaw was on track to have a big score, and then he does his calf, gets subbed out. He got a 95, which is decent, but that could have easily been 120, 130 with how he was going. Dunkley's turned to shit since probably 2 months ago.
Since the game started.
Yep. Dan Houston got concussed in the first half, which absolutely destroyed me. And then just your typicals, short, crisp, Baker, just not doing anything again. I
Yep.
mean, to be fair, the Collingwood game, apparently no one did nothing and they won. So
Good
that
game,
just
that.
shows
Good
how the
game.
super coach works. But yeah,
All right. Any trades this week? Do you have any trades left to make?
I've got one, but I don't know if I do it or not because I don't know if Trelaw's a test. So it's like I don't know, do I waste it on him? Hewitt's missing another week.
Yeah.
I've got two defenders out. I might have forward cover for Trelaw, but it's like I just don't know what to do.
Fair. All right. So I'll go on to my score. I scored 2,382, so a little bit more than you, Jack, which meant I jumped up another 1,319 ranks. So now I'm sitting at 12,927th. My goal for the last few weeks is just get top 10K, and I'll be pretty happy with that. Has been the greatest season for me. Started with a few wrong rookies, and yeah, it was just a bit late on a few people, so not great. It wasn't a great round, but I feel a lot of underperforming players, didn't do well, which Jack named a few. And both my two new rucks that I traded in last week, both of them didn't get above 90, which absolutely sucks. But saying that, I only missed out on about 15 points. So in the long run, that was probably better. So I had the VC on Bont, which worked out pretty well with 161. So I took that. And as Jack said, it's very unlikely, and I'm pretty sure he's been ruled out. But Hewitt's out again. This time he's on the injury list, and it says 1 week. So hopefully it is just 1 weeker. But that means for me and for a lot of people out there, Jacob Ware has to step up again. And say that I have no trades left. I can't do any, so my team is stuck as it is, and I just need to work on getting that VC and C right each week. We'll go into the VC and C options. There's not that many, but obviously those big players that aren't on this list, obviously they can always pop off at any time, but I've just gone the ones that have played well recently against these teams, or those who are playing crap teams. So we'll get straight into the obvious captain choices. So Lockie Neal averages 148 versus the Tigers. That's the second game on Sunday, so that's a captain option there. Clary versus Freo doesn't usually typically score well against Freo, but it's Clary bloody Oliver, and at the moment he's on an absolute heater. Like, he's just come back from a broken hand, and he's still scored 95 or something. So an extra week, he's probably going to feel a bit more confident. So it could go absolutely huge. That's the Friday night game, so he's a VC option. Tuk versus the Eagles, again, doesn't really average great against the Eagles, but as we know, this year the Eagles are absolute stinkers, so he could absolutely pop off, and he's been playing a lot better as of late. That's the first game on Sunday, so that'll be another captain option. And we got the Bont 124 versus the Cats on the Saturday night. Depending on what you want to do on that Sunday, that could be a VC or a C. Tough game that, but Bont has come off 180 and 161. So he's been on absolutely nuts, so it could be a great option there. I only have two roughy selections this week. The first one is for those with Zachy Merritt playing the Kangas. That's all I've put. Is just playing the Kangas, and that's the very last. It's the very last game of the round, so that'll be a captain option. And the other one is Luke Parker versus the Giants. In his last 2 games against the Giants, Jack, he has scored 167 and 128. So, and I'm pretty sure one of those scores were at the start of the season as well. Yes. So that's the second game, the Saturday Arvo, so that's VC or C option there. Me personally, I haven't chosen my VC and C yet, but it'll either be Bont or Clary, probably into Neil, I'd say. But what have you got, Jack?
I've got Bont into Neil.
Bont into Neil, nice. All right, so that's VC and C's done. We'll go over to the Breakevens team scored 2,315, so a little bit more than Jack, and I think that's what got him over the line for the finals was those extra 6 points. So that's pretty stiff.
Because I was versing the Breakevens team and it was the winner gets a spot.
Oh,
And obviously everything had to go wrong, didn't it? I've had a pretty good year and then bang.
Yeah, so the Breakevens team only jumped 105 ranks, and they're now at 13,120th. Not much that we could control with the Breakevens team. The only place we went wrong was on VC and C. So we put a VC on Brayshaw, and I'm pretty sure we had the C on Clary or McRae. And I think it was Friday night or Thursday night. I said to Jack, Mills is playing in Sydney, and he usually scores well in Sydney. Do you want to put the C on Mills? Jack goes, I can back that. Jack, you should not have backed me because both Brayshaw and Mills absolutely sputtered it up, and that's what killed the Breakevens week.
Brayshaw was on like 70 at half time, then just did nothing for the second half.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was to be fair, it was the same with Oliver. He was on 80, 90 at half time, and in the second half he got no points.
Yeah. So trades wise, we have one trade left, and we're undecided if we use it this week or not. Jack, I've tried to look on what we can do, and we're only 2K away from getting Tom Stewart if we get rid of Hewitt. So we'll have to talk off air about that, but we'll either do no trade or someone like a Hewitt, Short, or Cripps will probably leave the side because everyone else is pretty nailed on. So that's all that stuff. We'll get into the games. Jack, you had the first game. You had the play on Tigers versus Freo.
I did, and it was a draw.
That was a draw.
And for the third week in a row, a game Richmond deserved to win. They don't. And just to back it up, the day after, the coach abuses a VFL player out of frustration. Gotta have a laugh. Getting onto the hot. The man that's in there bloody every fucking week, Nick Bloshin with 118. If people got him when he came in from his injury, I should say, they've done very well. He's like Darcy Cameron type. He was just very consistent. Then we got Prestia and McIntosh both with 104, which McIntosh has actually played decent the last few weeks and had some high scores, which is a surprise. Getting into Freo, Hayden Young, a guy to look out for next year with 139. It's happened again, Corey. I've got Freo, and Luke Ryan's turned up again. He got 128. Cox got 118. Jordan Clark 106, and James Aish 104. Into the cold. Ben Miller got subbed out. Apparently his whole body went into a cork and he couldn't move.
Yeah,
he was frozen.
Went into some sort of shock because his calf was sore. So who knows?
And all I heard was his whole body just got into a cork and it's like it shut down. He couldn't move, which is quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Short is 76, Shea Bolton 84. Nat 5 did his hammy again, which probably stuffs over his season, if not career.
They're saying he should be right for round 23, they reckon.
Well, I don't think that's enough time to be right for finals if I'm Freo.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Andy Brayshaw 79 with a 9 Supercoach second half apparently. Shrek Darcy with a 93 and Brody a 95. And that's all I had.
Yep. There was something I wanted to say about Freo and Richmond, but I think I've forgotten. So don't mind me. It'll probably come to me later, and then I'll just chuck it in there. But I had the next game, which was the Kangaroos versus the Hawks, and no surprise, the Hawks won by 46. If at the start of the year I realised Hawthorn were playing Kangas twice, I would have said that they would probably won 2 games.
Well, you said they weren't going to win a game at all.
Yeah.
You said neither team were winning a game at all, and they both won games.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Roos beat you guys.
Yeah, that's my point. Hawthorn didn't, but Hawthorn bet the Roos.
All right, so the hots for the Kangas, Aaron Hall has come back with 119. Ben/Harry Mackay, 107. And Luke Davies-Uniacke again with 104. For the Hawks, Jackie Gunston, 136. Tom Mitchell, 125. Jax Boyd, Dylan Moore, 124. Jai Newcomb also with 124. Hardwick, 112. And Jaeger O'Meara, 106. As we move on to the Colds, one of the ruckmen I brought in, Todd Goldstein, with a 75. And Jai Simpkin with a 26, which is absolutely
good effort. Did Aidan Bonner play?
And for the Hawks, James Sicily with a 97. Yes, that's stiff, but the Sicily's have been averaging 130, so it's 40 under. And Will Day with a 31. So I didn't want to put Sicily in there by himself, so I put Will Day in there. And Jack, that means you had the next game, which was the Swans versus the Crom.
And the Swans won by 33. And straight into the hot, Tom Papley, 127. He's been very good the last month.
He goes through these.
Stevens.
He goes through these purple patches.
Yeah. Dylan Stevens, I think it's Dylan at least.
Yep.
118. This is what people at the start of the year thought they'd see, and he didn't. Then he got dropped for about 15 weeks.
Yep.
Chad Warner, 110, continuing his hot form, and Isaac Heaney, 106. Into the Crows, Rory Laird and Sam Berry both got 140. Ben Keys, 111, and Rob, 101. Into the Colds, you got Parker, 98, and Mills, 97.
Stiff.
Very stiff, but like Mills is averaging like 120.
Yeah.
And Lloyd, 65. And with Adelaide, you got Jordan Dawson, 93, and Shane McAdam got injured.
Yep. Question, Jack. With news coming out today that Matt Crouch will not be given a contract extension, thoughts on Sam Berry for next season?
I mean, I was thinking that without even thinking about the Matt Crouch.
Because you look at his last few games,
he could be a mid-forward as well, I'm pretty sure.
121 and 140. And his next 3 games against Carlton, West Coast, North, and then he has Port to finish. So he'd go big in all 4 of those games. So unfortunately, he's priced at $470K at the moment, which means next season he'll probably be around the same. But it'll be a very good option next season, I feel.
There's a few of them.
Yeah. All right, I'll go to the next game, which was Port versus the Cats, and the Cats only won by 12. Port gave a good fight, but the Cats were just too strong.
Should have won.
Yeah. All right, the hots for Port: Charlie Dixon, 136, Ali 117, Ryan Burton, 113, Zachary Butters, 106, and Travis Boak, 103. And for the Cats, Tommy Hawkins, 141, and Tom Atkins, 117. He's another one of those that have stepped up recently and have been playing very consistently. And
that's because he's got a midfield role.
Yeah, and he'd be another watch list for next year. The Colds, though, for Port, Ollie Wines, 66, and Dan Houston with a 40. And as Jack said, he got concussed. So they put it down for only 1 week, which is good. Just on Ollie Wines, remember a few weeks ago, Jack, when I said in Supercoach Draft that I had Wines, and there was that trade that was there for 6 weeks, and it was finally got accepted. I'm glad it got accepted now. as we move on to the Colts for the Cats, we got Cam Guthrie with an 88, Mitch Duncan 71, Reece Stanley with a 58, hurt his knee, and he's out for 2 to 4 weeks. Joel Selwood with a 49, and Patrick Dangerfield with 24, which would have to be one of his lowest scores ever playing a full game. And that's it for that game. So, Jack, take away with the Lions versus the Suns.
And the Lions won by 17, getting straight into the hots. Lockie Neal, 123. Hugh McCluggage, 106. Dane Zorko and Callum Archie with 103. For the Suns, we got Tuk, 157. Noah Anderson, another one for next year, 135. And Brandon Ellis, 121. In the Colds, we got Dan Rich injured. I'm guessing it's probably another hamstring. I'm not too sure. And Jared Lyons on a 98, which is stiff. I think it's his second highest score this year. Then we got for the Suns, Charlie Ballard, who got injured also, and Witts with his bullshit 86.
Yeah. Dan Rich was a concussion, apparently.
Concussion to his hamstring.
Yep. That's what Ben Miller had, apparently, but to his calf.
Exactly.
Was that it for that game?
Yeah, it was.
Yep, awesome. So the next one, which is the Dogs versus the D's, and this time the Dogs got up by 10 points. As I said, Bond 161, the Ginger Ed Richards 126, Timmy English came back with a 122, Baz Smith 113, Bailey Dale 105, and I've put Jamara Ugle-Hagen with a 95, kicked 5 goals, showed his talent. Hopefully in the next few years he can start doing that a bit more consistently, so everyone can shut up about him. As you move to the D's, Maxi Gorn came back with a 147, which is a shot in the dick for me because I went Goldie over Gorn on form, and Goldie scored 75 and Gorn scored 147. So if you do the math there, it's about 70 odd points difference, which is shit. Harris's brother Angus scored 122 though, and Stephen Knockout Blow May 109. As we move to the Colds for the Doggies, Jack McRae 95, Adam Trelaw 95, and as Jack said, he's had a calf problem, but it says he's a test, which is good news for you, Jack. Libba got a 92, and Josh Dunkley 67. As we move over to the Colds for the D's, Clary Oliver with a 96, stiff, coming off the hand. Petrarca 81, and Luke Jackson with a 61 there. So, Jack, you have the next game, which is the Blues versus the Giants.
I do, and the Blues won by 36, which is not a surprise at all. What is a surprise is one of the names in here. So going straight into the hots, Adam Sard 136, Matt Kennedy 120, Harry Mackay 119. The surprise, Paddy Cripps 118. It's his highest score in 10 weeks. Charlie Kerner 112, Sam Walsh 111, Nick Newman 108, and I'll put it in here because I haven't seen him above 60 in his entire career. Jack Silvani got a 96. The hots for the Giants, Harry Himmelberg 130, Tim Taranto 113, and Cornelio 106. Getting into the Colts for Carlton, Sam Doherty is 73. He had like 110 dream team with that as well. Didn't watch the game. Must have been bad with foot. And for the Giants, Bruce with an 85, Cumming with a 62, and Toby Green with a 39, even though he kicked 2 or 3 goals and had 15 touches, which was a bit of a surprise.
Bit of a butcher.
That's all I had for that game.
Yep, so now we move on to the best game of the round, the Pies versus the Bombers. And with some Jamie Elliott brilliance after the siren, the Pies won by 4 points. Funny enough, Jack, as you said at the start, no one got above 100 for the Pies. I'm pretty sure Josh
No one got
Dacos.
above 90. Josh Dacos scored a 90, and that was the highest for Collingwood.
Yep, so there's no hots for Collingwood this week, which is very rare. But we do have some colds. So the colds for Collingwood, Adams with 86, Crispy 81, Nick Dacos with a 79, Pendles with a 79, Darcy Cameron with a 71, and Braden Maynard with a 47. Hurt his shoulder, and that's to be confirmed. As we move over to the
It looks like he's missing this week.
Yeah, I checked the injury list and still said to be confirmed. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, he was doing light work. Same with it looks like Grundy's going to miss another week as he limped off training.
Okay. And the hots for the Bombers now will go Zachy Merritt 133, Dyson Heppel 114, Snelling 108, Dylan Shield 102, and Sammy Mullet Draper with 102 as well. And the colds for the Bombers, Jordan Ridley 86, and Mason Redmond with a 49. It says internal bruising, so to be confirmed on that injury as well. And that's it for my games this week. Jack, you'll take us through the last game of the round, which was the Eagles versus the Saints.
And the Saints won by 28, which I thought it would have been a bit more. Just because it's West Coast, of course. Getting into the hot, Tom Barras, 132. And just like Jack Silvani in my last game, I had to chuck him in. BJ Williams got a 90. I don't think he's gotten over a 40 in his career. Getting onto the Saints, you had Brad Crouch with 147 and has a contract for next season. Jack Steele 143, which I had the captain on him, but I had devised and Bond, which worked beautifully. Jack Sinclair 117 and Seb Roth for 104. Into the colds, Tim Kelly scored 11 and 4 touches for a whole game. And the last one for the Eagles, Shannon Hearn had a 71, which is very cold for what he's produced this year, which I think surprised everyone.
Yeah.
And with the Saints, your boy Rowan Marshall got a massive 88. And Jade Gresham and Jack Billings both had the injury or concussion.
Yeah. And that was it for that game and for all the games. Lovely. So anything you want to add before I sign off here, Jack?
I do have one thing to say.
Yep.
They say black cats have 9 lives. Collingwood's had 9 lives in the last 9 weeks. Can it continue? Can they live longer than a black cat?
Playing against Port at the MCG, it might be another close one.
Ollie Wines to do nothing again.
No, this will be the game he'll dominate. All right,
probably, but you'll still win after the siren.
So that'll do us for tonight's podcast. What is your rank? And if you have any trades, what are you guys looking to do? You can let us know either on Twitter at Breakevens Pod or in the YouTube comments. Just search the Breakevens and see our logo there. Before I completely say goodbye, just want to shout out, we have 9 days left for the FPL, so that's Fantasy Premier League, to kick off. We do have a league. We've got 10 people in there at the moment looking to do more. So in a couple of days, we'll put another one and another post out there. So if you're are keen to join, do so. At the moment, we have a pinned tweet to our Twitter. So if you go and search at Breakevens Pod on Twitter, you'll see us there. And the first one you will see will be a link and a code there as well to join the Premier League fantasy there. So please do so. We want to get as many people in there as possible. So as I always say at the start and at the end, thank you again for your support and for listening and watching on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, as I've said, at Breakevens Pod, or on YouTube in the YouTube comments. You can hit us up there at the Breakevens. So good luck to everyone for round 20 and Supercoach finals going forward. And on that note, as always, until next week, it's bye for now.
See ya.